Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got a fantastic show coming your way today. We got one of the most favorite people in the world, to me, that's going to be joining us on the show today. I'm not talking about you, baby, Michelle. You already here. I'm talking about this absolutely other fantastic guest that's going to be joining us. And I tell you what, and it's her birthday today. So I'm excited about this one. And hey, Todd, when we bring her on, man, we have to do that. We have to sing happy birthday to her. How you doing today, Todd?
I'm always good. I'm just trying to stay cool. You know, there's a big heat wave going around. Half the country's in this big heat wave. So even here in San Diego, it's pretty hot. How are you guys handling it?
Well, we done cooled down, man. It's probably about 80, 84, 85 here, man. It's that chilled out, But I'm excited about the show. It's a kickoff for something that's going to be happening for at least the next 4 weeks, and I'm excited. So, Todd, let's lock everything in and let's bring all of the networks together.
All right, here we go. We're locking in here. We're starting here in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm tickled pink right now. This guest that I got on today, you all have seen her on many, many times. She is absolutely wonderful. And like I always say, she gave me my first opportunity to be in radio and television. And, I'm just so thankful and so grateful for all that she has done. And I'm just so happy to have her on because she's not going to tell you, but we're going to be kicking off something new. We'll tell you later on during the show about this, and she will be involved. And everybody say, well, you haven't even told us who she is. Well, hey, Todd, if I do that, Michelle going to get mad at us, right? She'll get mad at us. But I tell you what, Michelle, can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely magnificent guest of ours?
And I will. Hi, James. How are you doing today?
Oh, okay. That was a dig right there.
You didn't say hi to me.
I'm sorry. How you doing, Dr. Cooley?
I'm fine.
I better become official now.
Okay, here we go. So, audience, today's title of the show is What Are Bridges Beyond Grief? And we're bringing back Paula Shaw. She is a life transitions expert, grief specialist, keynote speaker, and author. She's going to discuss, is it truly possible for someone to fully heal from the deep pain of a significant loss? What are the bridges that can get you over the pain and agony? And professional help dealing with grief. Paula, she is a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and media host on her own show, Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. For more than 25 years, she's dedicated to helping people navigate the stress of change and challenge using mind-body tools and techniques. She is a founding member of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. She has degrees in education and communications, and she has counseling credentials in grief and in addictive disorders. And she is a best-selling author. One of her books called Chakras, The Magnificent Seven, Grief From This Pain Ever End. And her latest book, Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say. Please welcome back to the show, Miss Paula Shaw. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Hey, Todd, can you hear me now? Hey, Todd. Oh, we have technical difficulty. I mean, hopefully he can hear us. Welcome to the show. Wow. I don't think Todd can hear us.
Right now. It's not good.
Michelle, why don't you take over the show for a little bit? And let me try to get this fixed.
Sure. Welcome back, Paula, again.
Thank you. Always great to be here, Michelle.
And happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes, this is it's not a big milestone birthday because it's not the century or the half a century or whatever, but I'm close. I'm 1 year away now from 3/4 of a century on this planet. So I would say every day above ground is a good one.
Yes, most definitely. Well, you know what? You've been on the show so multiple times, and you've just definitely given us education, especially on the topic of grief. So, why did you title this show "What Are Bridges Beyond Grief"? Why did you specifically title it that way?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. It's a great opening question because so many people, when they're in the midst of the pain, and I'm working with a lot of them right now, there's this feeling. In fact, the reason that I called my book Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End, is because when you're in the midst of the pain, you don't think it's possible that it's ever going to end. You don't think it's possible to ever feel normal again or get back to life as usual and normal. And there's a certain amount of truth to that, Michelle, because you never get back to normal the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
But there can be a new normal that can be even richer and more profound and deeper than the other normal was. So I think, though, this feeling of, boy, once you're in this much pain, there's no way out, right? You're in the bottom of the pit and there's no bridge. There is no way to get from here to there, from this agonizing, painful place back to normal. But I don't believe that. My experience has not been that. My experience has been that there are bridges to go beyond grief. We don't have to stay in this agonizing pain forever. And if your grief is fresh, listener, I know that doesn't seem possible, but I have been there myself, and I have been there multiple times with others. And I assure you, it is possible. It is possible to not be in this agonizing place right now forever. It will end.
Yes. And like you said, when it's grief is fresh or just grief in general, it doesn't have to mean the loss of a loved one. Loss can mean loss of a job, a loss person passes on, loss of a marriage, loss of a relationship. Loss can mean so many things. Can anyone ever get let's just talk about, just the pain of a serious loss.
Mhm.
Mention sometimes people, when it's fresh, they can't imagine life
Mm-mm.
without this grief. Can anyone ever really get over the pain of a serious loss, Paula, in your profession?
Well, I'll tell you, I read a piece recently that I want to send you guys, and maybe we can put it up on a website or something, but it was so profound. And the analogy that this gentleman used to a death or a huge loss is a shipwreck. And he says, in the beginning, the wreckage is all around you, and that's all you can see and all you can experience. And the best you can do is stay afloat and maybe grab onto a piece of the wreckage and hope that it'll get you through. And I thought that analogy was so spot on, because that is how it feels. Like your world blew up, and now all you can do is try to keep breathing, try to stay afloat and not go under. But to answer your question, Michelle, yes, there does come a point when, you float to safety, or when you swim. I like that analogy better, because a lot of people are under the misconception that time heals all wounds. We've all heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time does not heal the wounds. The work you're doing, the walking through the pain, the expressing the pain, the journaling or whatever other tools you use, the meditation, the prayer, That's what gets you to the other side, not time. Time's this kind of neutral thing. And to tell you the truth, I've seen people who are down the road time-wise and they're worse because they haven't been doing anything to help themselves walk through the pain and get to the other side. And as I've shared on this show before, that old saying, the only way out is through, that's the truth of grief. It's the truth. But yes, you can get through it. You can get to a better place where the daily agony is not part of your life.
Oh, wow. You know, and it's interesting. I like what you said. You have to go through. They're working hard, not thinking about it. It's not going to help. You have to own how you feel, why you feel that way. Some people, and you can just comment on it, they feel angry, they feel mad, they feel guilt. They have a range of emotions that they don't know what to do with or why they feel that way.
Yes.
But they have to get out. You can't deny how you feel. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think you're spot on. And I'm glad you brought up the fact that grief has many faces. Some of my clients, their grief looks like constant fear. Others, it's anxiety about the future, about what's coming. For some, it's paralysis, it's depression, it's sadness, it's constant tears. It's different for everybody. And you're so right. When you just keep busy, all you're doing is distracting yourself, but distraction isn't healing. Distraction is distraction. And when you get undistracted, the pain is waiting there for you again.
Wow. You know, this is so interesting of a conversation, and we really gonna dig deep into this, and we're gonna talk about a lot of other things once we get back, especially wish Paula a happy birthday once we get back. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, was you watching this on E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and over 6 to 8 other different platforms. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform, to the comments, ask any question that you might have. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's point of view.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right.
engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
The James Cooley Show.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And I tell you what, we had a little technical difficulties in the first segment. Turn it over to Michelle. Listen to that great conversation discussion that her and Paula was having. We're going to dive deep off into that one. But first of all, audience, I want everybody to know that this young lady right here came on the show today, and it's her birthday. I mean, I know she could have been doing a million things, but it's her birthday. And Todd, you and I have to sing happy birthday, some version of this. You know, so hey, Todd, you there?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Paula.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. That's very sweet.
You know, Paula, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Just like I was saying in the beginning, you gave me my first start at this. And
that's right.
We have evolved. That was a little bit more than 5 years ago.
I know. I can't believe that. Time has flown for sure.
It has. And you are doing so many great things, especially when it comes to people that are suffering grief or just need counseling on a lot of other different things. Mm-hmm. Your books are amazing. And they're helping so many folks out. You know, I know Michelle just was talking to you about the bridges that you can get over to try to help resolve some of the issues. And you and we're going to have a weekly series. I'm telling the audience right now.
Okay.
So starting next week, every Thursday for at least the next month or so. Paula Shaw is going to have some great guests on, and we're just going to be sharing a lot of different things because we all go through grief. And when a lot of times we go into grief, we don't know where to turn to. We don't know what to do. And it's easy to go into this pity, why me? Mm-hmm. This young lady right here is so extraordinary. She wrote, a lot of people don't know what to say, when they go through grief. I'm talking about people that knows you, and they come up and they say, well, I know how you feel. I know how all this stuff. Oh, no. The reason I said this, I just lost my daughter 7 weeks ago. And it's Michelle and I, it's so painful. But the person we called on was Paula. And she's extraordinary, always have been. So Paula, I want to talk about that a little bit. Different agony, suffering, grief, that people have, and what can they do to help ease the pain? And what can loved ones and friends do to help engage and ease in the pain without saying crazy things? And
yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Boy, yeah, that's such a great question, JC. First of all, my heart aches for you because I can't imagine anything more difficult to deal with than the loss of a child. I have 2. I know, you have 4, and many of our listeners, I'm sure, have children, and the greatest nightmare that we ever worry about is the loss of our children, because everything we do is pretty much focused around them, even though mine are in their 30s now, and my daughter just got married a month ago. She's still my baby, right? You know, she's still a focus in my life. And so I think what is so courageous that you brought that up, JC, is that that's the loss that most folks think they could never deal with, that they could never get over. And I have to tell you, you know, I'm in that club myself, even though I know that people can be helped, that people can move forward. I don't really like the term move on, because move on sort of suggests that you're just moving on and forgetting what you left, but moving forward, that feels to me like a positive direction. And it doesn't take away from the love that was there. In this piece I was referring to earlier that I read online, and I am definitely sending to you, and I hope we can post it somewhere. One of the points that was made is that as deep as the scar is, that's how deep the love was. And so deep scars shouldn't be something we dread or hide. They should be something that we honor as representative of this amazing love we got to know, we got to experience with whoever the person is we lost. And whether that loss was divorce, breakup, death, moving, you know, loss hurts. Loss, the separation, the no longer being in the presence of someone or something we love. That's one of the definitions of loss. And when we cherish something, whether it's an animal, a person, a thing, a place, if we lose that, it's painful. But what you've gone through, JC, defies what our brains are hardwired to believe is normal. And what we are hardwired to believe is we go before they do. We are the ones that go on to another dimension first. And we leave them whatever we've accrued and what we've taught them. That's the way the brain's kind of hardwired to think of as a natural progression of things. When that natural progression gets upheaved, then it's even more difficult, because a lot of us get stuck in why. Why did it happen? Why me? You know, why? I'm a good person, all those things. And I was just saying to a client earlier today, there's so many kinds of loss where there is no logic. There is no answer to the why question. And we don't want to get stuck in the why. What we really want to do is move into the how can we accept what's happened and keep going productively in our lives. And that's what's difficult for people. And so you asked, JC, what are good things to do? Oh, there are so many things. There are many tools I want to talk about in the course of our chat here and in the course of the weeks to come. But I want to say, first and foremost, what you and Michelle chose to do. Talk to someone who you trust and who is safe. That's huge, because emotionally, you are not, energetically, you're not in a place to have to be strong and defend. You've got to be in the presence of someone that's easy to be with, that's loving and compassionate and supportive. Then it's like easing into a big comfy chair, you know. From there, you can focus on what you need to say and feel what you're feeling. Too often, one of the worst things we do when we're grieving is push those feelings down, because either we're in a situation where we can't cry, or we got to keep functioning at the office or socially. Those things are really detrimental to healing, because the more authentic we can be with what we're feeling and the more opportunity we have to express it, the sooner we heal.
You know, so Paula, everyone's, I believe, grieve in a different type of perspective, depending on the situation, circumstances, and the loss. You mentioned something that the deeper the cut feel shows the deeper the love for that individual or whatever the situation might be. Can you talk about that a little bit more? We got about 2 minutes before the break.
Yes. In my book, the one that I shared earlier, but that you mentioned, Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? It's so hard to figure out where exactly to position it. I have a quote in there from Khalil Gibran, and he says something about, when you are feeling your sorrow, remember that it's in direct proportion with the joy and the love that you knew. And so, and he says something about, is not the cup from which you drink your wine the one that was fired in the potter's oven? And so, yeah, we go through stuff that's hard in life, really hard. And we have a choice. We're always a choice, even though it may not look like it. We're at choice. Are we going to let this thing grow us deeper and stronger and wiser? Or are we going to let it defeat us and put us into some kind of paralysis or some non-productive stuck place in our lives? I think it's best if we choose that we want to go forward and we want to end up on the other side a wiser, deeper, more compassionate person.
Wow. But, it's tough, Paula, to get that type of mindset.
Absolutely.
It takes some time. At least I know what me and Michelle was going through. And it takes time to just rationally think about that at the time. When we come back from the break, we're going to pick it up. We're going to talk about this a lot more. And also want to talk about the new series that you and I got. It's going to be starting next week because it's going to help so many people out there. And if you want to be part of this great conversation that we're having right now, all you have to do is pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170. KCB Crew to answer, San Diego FM 96.1. The Toddy will make sure he patch you through. Or you can go to the platform that you're watching us on. Go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Dr. J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Dr. J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you what, we're talking about what are the bridges beyond grief, and we got, my special guest, Paula Shaw, here to share some of those tips, and also to bring understanding on some of the things that we, even if you're going through grief and circumstances, or you have friends or family members that dealing with people, around people that are going through certain situations, circumstances, some of the things that we might want to consider. And she is an expert in this area. And I tell you what, Paula, you are absolutely fantastic. But hey, Todd, you've been listening, man. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, it's a great show. I know Paula. I've worked with her for some time, and she's just a wealth of knowledge. And I'm excited that she's going to be a part of It's Your Life every Thursday. So very excited. And let's get back to this great guest, Paula.
I am looking forward to it. Paul, I got one more question before I turn it over to Michelle.
Okay.
And this question is probably what a lot of people might be asking is, why is grief so painful? Why is it so painful?
Yeah, boy, that's a great question, JC. And I want to try and tie the answer in a little bit with what you asked me a minute ago that I feel like I didn't answer thoroughly enough. But grief is so painful because first, what we're looking at is the loss of something that we cherished, that gave us joy, that gave us maybe even purpose, that gave us a focus, that made our days feel good. And when we cherish something and we're comfortable with it, that's about as good as it gets for humans. We love the comfort of the familiar, and we all want joy, right? I mean, isn't that why we do most of what we do, to have a moment of joy? And so when that gets ripped away, that's painful, because now that source of joy is no longer there. And we're forced to deal with the fact that usually it's pretty permanent. Now, it's a little different in maybe a divorce or a relationship breakup. It's not like death. But one of the parts of death that I think is so difficult for people is realizing the permanence, realizing that situation's not going to change. If it's a divorce or somebody moves or, a breakup in a relationship, there's a little chance, maybe there's some hope that situation can change. But the aspect of this permanence, and remember, we're creatures who exist in the physical on the earth plane. We like being with other creatures in the physical on the earth plane. So even if your beliefs are, once someone has passed on, that that they're now in heaven or they're with the angels. And isn't that beautiful and wonderful? Yes, but right here in the physical on the earth plane, I'm hurting because they're not with me. I can't talk to them. I can't hug them. I can't go to the movies with them. I can't ask their opinion. And that's difficult for us. So death has this agony all its own that comes from the permanence of the situation and excuse me, the lack of now being able to interact on the physical level. But anytime we lose somebody, whether it's a divorce now or they've moved away, or, you know, one of the realities we're dealing with now, and I heard an amazing speaker yesterday talking about this very thing, and I think I want to bring her on this show, dementia. Dementia is taking our loved ones away before the body leaves. Just before I did this show, I was with a client who lost her husband to Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's. And this went on for years. But her grief didn't wait until his body actually left the earth plane. Her grief started when he was no longer the man that she had been with. He could no longer speak like him, feel like him, think like him. That's grief, even though his physical body was still present. But she lost the experience of him that she had known and loved. And that's a very real kind of grief too. And that happens to anybody who is dealing with a loved one who may have a mental or a cognitive issue or even physiological issues. You know, we lose the experience in the way that we knew it, cherished it, and found it familiar and comfortable.
Wow. You know, I never thought about that. But you made me bring up this question, you know, besides dementia, Alzheimer's, isn't like grieving also when someone is going through an illness? Let's say they have cancer and they haven't left this earth yet, but you're grieving of what's going to happen, the anticipation of what's going to happen. So can you kind of address that? That's
absolutely.
And then part two has nothing to do with part one. So I'm just going to let you address that, Paula.
Okay. It's a great point, Michelle. Anticipatory grief is difficult. It's tough, again, because it lasts for quite a period of time. If someone is on a respirator and we know they're going to be taken off and we know that in all likelihood they're going to die, that is a certain period of time. But when someone is dealing with a health loss or maybe cancer, or as we were talking about, a form of dementia, there's a period of time that's unknown. But that whole time we have lost who we knew in the way that we knew them. So that kind of grief and suffering the anticipation of what's coming. And one of the things I've had clients tell me time and time again, even when you know it's coming, there is no way you can know what it's going to feel like until it's real in that moment. So you can't protect yourself from the pain. You can't say, okay, I know it's coming, so I'm prepared. I'm going to be all right. Because in the moment it's real, everything changes.
You know, Paula, we have about a minute or so before break, but this is a question I want to throw out for you to think about. You know, we can talk about this for hours, but let's go on the topic of unexpected loss, especially when there's unfinished business.
Oh, yes.
And you had with that, you know, whether it's a job, you know, you had these great ideas, which you want to create, or a marriage where you wish you could have, should have done on your part.
Yes.
Unfinished business, or with a loved one where you wish you could have said this or done this. Can you think about that before, after we get back to break?
Oh, absolutely. That's a fabulous question. And it's a big topic, Michelle, because it can cause what we call complicated grief, especially if you're not going to have the opportunity to make it right, so to speak, or if you're being cut short in the middle of your creation or your ideas or all of that. It's a fabulous question. Can we talk about it when we come back?
We're going to talk about that when we come back, but I tell you what, the platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on that platform, ask any question that you might have. We'll get you an answer, or you can pick up the phone, call directly into the radio station, KCBQ AM 1170 Answer, FM 96.1. Todd will pat you through. I tell you, this is such an important conversation, important topic, and we all need to be a part of it. So we're going to come back with a lot more Paula Shaw shortly after the commercial break. Remember, it's your life, and we'll see you then.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's
Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
A slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we're talking with Paula Shaw, and our topic today is what are the bridges beyond grief? And the reason I said that is Paula and I are going to talk during this segment about the upcoming series that her and I, primarily her, and I are going to have. We're going to have some absolutely fantastic guests to talk about a lot of things that many just think about and not understand, and also to educate that it's not unusual for a person that's dealing with grief to feel a certain way. And also to educate our friends and our family that is certain things that you need to consider when you are, engaging with people that are grieving. And Paula got several books out there. We're going to, over that course, we're going to talk about all her books, not knowing what to say when you're in certain situations. I mean, she got so many books, but we're going to talk about all of those. But I want to get back to Michelle's question to you, Paula. And after that, it's going to be turned back over to me, and you're going to talk about the next few weeks that what we got coming up. So I'm excited about that one. So it's yours, Michelle.
Thank you, James. Paula, unfinished business. Wow. I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
When my sister passed away over 10 years ago, she passed away 2 days after I talked to her, totally unexpected. But we always had a great relationship. Told her I loved her. She texted me that she got my Mother's Day card. So I got a chance to tell her that.
Yeah.
Death was unexpected, but I didn't have any unfinished business with her. But some people are not in that position.
Right.
Time waits for nobody. So how difficult is it when you lose, whether a loved one, a job, a relationship, could have, would have, should have, why didn't I, blah, blah, go on and go on. How does it add the extra pain or agony or coming to terms to get that peace you needed when it comes to loss?
Well, first of all, I think that the piece that you're also bringing up here is sudden loss, because, picking up the phone and getting the news there was an accident, a fatal accident, or picking up the phone, as thousands in this country have, and finding out they're fired or they've lost their jobs. Sudden shock is more traumatic. Sudden shock is more difficult to deal with because we haven't had time to make any adjustments. We don't know where to put it. It's kind of like you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden your world turns upside down, and that's shocking and more difficult because it's shocking. So that's one piece, Michelle. The other part is, ideally, we would all like all our relationships to be in great shape and our children to love us and to call and talk and laugh together every day. But when that hasn't happened in a while, whether it's a friend, a brother, a sister, a spouse, whatever, if you haven't talked to that person a bit and suddenly they're taken away, there's all sorts of trauma and angst that your brain goes through. Because it's like, you got to talk to your sister. You got to send that card. But what if you can't now? What if it won't matter if you send that card? What if you feel like, I wish I would have said more about how much I love you? So those complications add other pieces that have to be worked through in the course of the grief. And so if I were working with a client who had issues like that, then I might need to add some additional bridges, if you will, which might be something like write a letter to that person saying everything you wish you would have had a chance to say. And then we're going to read it out loud as we first imagine that person is sitting in a chair across from us. That might be one of the bridges that helps somebody who didn't get a chance to say those things, because when the ears hear it and the brain gets it, it can help the healing. So that is a very frustrating situation. And as I said, it creates more complications that then have to be worked through. I mean, loss is not easy any way you cut it, because we humans like to have what we want, and we want it to always be there. And when it isn't, it's very, very painful for us.
Wow, it is painful. Hey, Paula, we got about three minutes left in the show. I want to talk about our new series that's
Yeah.
coming Thursday, Bridges Beyond Grief. Can you please tell our viewers and listeners, just give them a quick synopsis of what they should expect?
Yes. Well, the show idea evolved out of conversations with you, JC, and the sudden loss that you dealt with. In my own private clientele right now, I'm dealing with several people who've had sudden losses, or who dealt with a loss like the dementia thing we were talking about that happened over time. But what I'm realizing in every case, in every loss, we need tools. We need to know what to do. And as JC so wisely pointed out earlier in the show, we don't tend to know what to do, especially if we haven't had a loss before. And by the way, even if you have had a loss, every loss is unique. Everyone is different. So you may have to use different tools. You may have to get through it in different ways. And so the idea was born between JC and I to bring a show that's going to bring you tools, that's going to give you access to people who had unthinkable kinds of loss, and then found the bridges to get to the other side. And we want you to have that information. We want you to have those tools so that if life happens in a difficult way to you and you're dealing with a loss, you're going to have some really valuable, effective tools and knowledge to fall back on.
Paula, I am so excited about start next week. And, we got 68 live platforms. And this is an opportunity for people, regardless of where they're at in the world. We're in 181 countries and also the United States, all of, to be a part and to start from the beginning and this is kind of like therapy, because we're gonna have some great guests. So I'm excited to start this. We're gonna promote this, and I'm just so happy to be doing it with you, my friend.
Oh, and I am delighted and really honored to be doing it with you and Michelle.
And we got our main producer, Todd, who produced both of us. It's good to be back with the team, just like what Todd always say, So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for agreeing to do this, and we're gonna start promoting this real soon. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank my producer, Todd Pirate, that doing everything. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I tell you what, dream big, think big, and be big. And everything you do, we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you there.
The James Cooley Show.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.